welcome back. My name is Deb, you're watching Deb Explores, and today I am reviewing Witch House at Locked in Glasgow So Witch House is recommended for 2 to 3 players, and I agree with this. I think any more than 2 or 3 players is going to be a little bit of a squeeze, and as much as there is a lot of puzzles to do, I think that if you have too many people, there's going to be too many people crowded around the same few puzzles, and as they say, too many cooks spoil the broth. So I feel like with too many people, that's what it would be. So 2 to 3 people is definitely perfect. 2 experienced players or enthusiasts would still enjoy this, and maybe 3 people that are a little bit less experienced in escape rooms. The company do require for anyone playing under 16 years of age to be with an adult throughout this game. This is probably just due to the subject matter of the game. Witch House is based on all your horror movies such as Blair Witch Project that are set out in the woods in a witch's cabin, because essentially that's what you come across, a witch's cabin in the middle of the woods, and you end up inside of her cabin. So it's probably just the subject matter, kind of being on that cusp and that line. I personally didn't find it creepy or scary. I also do a lot of haunts, but Debbie, who came with me, who is not the biggest fan of horror, but can kind of go in that line with doing certain horror rooms, I think. She didn't find it too creepy either at all, but the subject matter, as I said, can probably just be on that line between being a little bit too creepy maybe. Yeah. According to the company's website, this is a medium difficulty game with a 78% escape rate, which means that, well, most people escape, right? And that's what you want. So yeah, yay! We did speak to our games master afterwards, and he did tell us that most people do tend to escape the room in about 45 to 55 minutes. Sometimes a little over that with only seconds to spare, which is, I've been there and it's heart-wrenching. So the room and a theme. From entering the room, from the moment you went through the door, you were fully immersed in the atmosphere, feeling like you were outside a cabin in the woods. The set design, the scenery, it was fantastic in my opinion, very similar to a lot of those that I'm used to doing across the pond, and it was very atmospheric. It had sound effects with an owl hooting above. It was quite dark, quite dull. You could see lights coming from the cabin, and it was just, I really enjoyed it. It made me feel immersed in the atmosphere for sure. Locked in Glasgow are really great for creating immersion in a room. I've done some of the other rooms since, and I feel like this is a theme that carries out throughout their rooms. They're very good at creating that atmosphere, and I think even though this is actually their oldest room that they have right now, it's probably up there with one of my favourites that I've done in Scotland so far, just in regards to the immersion and feeling like you're right there in that cabin. It's always great to see a room that has had so much work gone into it with the immersion and how things link together, and the puzzles as well, which brings us to the puzzles. There's some straightforward, simple puzzles, and then there's some that requires a little bit more thinking, a little bit more logic, and a little bit more to them. We spent the first part of the room outside the cabin, which is a very non-linear game. You very quickly know what you need to do, but there's different puzzles that you need to do to be able to solve that, to get into your second room. So for groups that are maybe a little bit more, they're a little bit more experienced, and you can definitely split off into separate areas of the room to uncover all these different puzzles. Otherwise, it's also not too much of a stretch if you're new to this. So Debbie, this only being her second escape room with me, we tended to stick together for a lot of it. But the room's not too big, so it's not too difficult to have to shout for help or talk to each other across the room either. Inside the cabin was a lot more linear of the rooms, so one puzzle you solve would lead to another, to another, to another, until you finally escaped. So I do enjoy a little bit of a mix. I quite enjoyed that the entire room of Witch House itself was a mixture of both linear and non-linear, and that's something that I do enjoy in escape rooms. Sometimes if it's too non-linear, I just get a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing and all over the place. So I quite enjoy these kind of rooms. If you're not sure what you like, then rooms like this are a good one to do, because then you can figure out what style of escape rooms is your favourite to do. There's a lot of surprises along the way, a lot of things to find out, to see. I don't want to give too much away, but I did really enjoy this room. Not everything is all padlocks and traditional locks. There's also some other technological ways of opening up secrets and the mystery on the way to finding your way out. Difficulty, to keep it short and sweet, we didn't find it too difficult, but we also weren't bored. We really enjoyed this room. There is a lot of puzzles to tackle, and that takes up a lot of the time in trying to get out the room. So it's not one of these rooms that you could easily go in and just escape in 20 minutes. I'm sure people have. I'm sure someone will tell me somewhere along the line, oh, well, we escaped in 25 minutes. But there's a lot of puzzles, a lot to keep you entertained, and we were certainly entertained throughout our experience. I did definitely enjoy this room. It taught us a lot about how myself and Debbie work. Being a new escape team, this was a perfect room that was full of different kinds of puzzles to learn how each other's minds worked and how we can progress and improve as a team together. Overall, I loved this room. I really enjoyed it. It was very immersive, very like a lot of the rooms that I have been used to from the earlier parts of 2020 when I started my escape journey over in Orlando in the States. I will do some videos from those coming up, but I am going to concentrate at the moment on my videos of those that I've done more recently that are a lot more fresh in my mind from Scotland. But Witch House we had a great time. It wasn't too difficult, but difficult enough to give us a little bit of a challenge to learn about each other working together. The immersion, as I said, was great. There was a lot of different kinds of puzzles, not just locks. And it was just a very fun room to do, and we did have a little celebration when we left, so it's always nice to feel that enthusiasm and adrenaline as the time is ticking down to get out the room. It definitely helps me with my own skills from being a little bit rusty from lockdown and getting back into the swing of escape rooms again. So overall, we definitely enjoyed this room, and it's definitely one that I would recommend to anyone going through Glasgow, visiting Glasgow, or who lives near Glasgow and is looking for something different to do, to take the time and go and check it out. I also want to say a thank you to the team at Locked in Glasgow. We have had some great experiences since we've been there. The team are always very welcoming, very friendly. Thank you to Jamie, who was the games master of our experience during Witch House. We do still talk about our experience there and how great you were and how quick you were coming into the room and finding us in the woods when we lost our pen and needed it for a problem. We appreciate that. So thank you very much, Locked in Glasgow. We did have a great time. I will put a link down to their website down below if you do wish to check them out at some point. Thank you for watching yourselves. I hope to speak to you again soon. We are still in like tier 3, tier 4 areas of Scotland, so things are a little bit difficult to get out and about to. So I will be sharing my escape room experience for the moment until I can get outside adventuring again soon. It is very cold right now and I'm really not used to it over the past couple of years. But I look forward to exploring with you all soon. So until then, thank you again for watching and have a great day. See you